Hi there. Welcome to the Make Good Fashion podcast. I am Jasmine. Thanks so much for being here. In this episode, I'm going to talk about how you can grow your customer base and increase your sales with craft fairs or pop up markets. Basically, the same thing, just going to be using the words interchangeably. Now, craft fairs are pop up shopping events that sometimes happen over 2 days or a day that bring in tons of traffic of people ready to shop from a curated selection of companies. They happen all over the US, and there's usually an application process to be accepted to become a seller at one of these craft fairs. They happen both indoors and outdoors and are usually curated with a selection of brands. And so they are amazing. So, some of the benefits about doing craft fairs is that one, you can increase your sales volume really quickly. Craft fairs will promote their fair so that they can bring in foot traffic. So that there are tons of shoppers ready to buy from your brand and others. So they will do local news appearances, they will market on billboards or social media marketing. And so not all of them do a great job at this, but there are a lot that do put money into marketing them so that you have people ready to buy from you. The second thing that is great about this is that you can build your customer base. One tip I have if you are thinking about doing one of these craft fairs is really focusing on growing your email list while you're there. One way I would do this is create some kind of incentive, such as if you sign up for our email list, we'll give you 15% off your purchase, or simply just leaving the email list out there on your table or however you have your booth set up so that people can come and sign up. And the reason why this is so important is because since there is so much traffic coming, you want to really retain the information of the customers that you meet at these craft fairs and the people who have stopped by your booth and want to know more about your brand. And this gives you an opportunity to grow that customer relationship post the craft fair. The third benefit to doing a craft fair is that it's a great networking opportunity. Just think about it. There's tons of brands and businesses there also selling. And so it's a great opportunity to meet other people that you can maybe collaborate with or exchange business tips with. And so I love this about craft fairs because I have met some amazing people at craft fairs that are doing some really great things. And we've been able to partner together and collaborate to help one another. So that is a great thing. So, how do you know what craft fair to apply to? Now, not all craft fairs are created equally. There are some that are better than others. And there are a couple ways that I go about figuring out what craft fairs I should sign up for. One thing I want you to think about is how it's curated. Look at the past craft fairs and see what types of brands participated in it. Does it make sense for your brand? Is it in alignment with your target customer? Would they shop at a craft fair like this? That's something you want to think about. The next thing I would think about when trying to decide what craft fairs to choose from is the foot traffic. And the way that I go about this is I would attend the craft fair the next time they have one. So before you decide to participate, attend as a shopper and walk the market. See if there's a lot of people shopping. Is there a lot of foot traffic? You can even talk to some of the vendors. How has your day been for you? Have you been seeing a lot of people come through? And that will give you a better idea if it's worth your while. The next thing you need to think about is what are the fees associated with participating in the craft fair? So, craft fairs usually charge you for your booth space. And so you have to think about, is this within your budget and will it be worth it? Does this seem like it will get a return on my investment considering how much foot traffic they usually get and if this is a right fit for my brand? And so those are things you're going to want to think about. Obviously, you can't know or have an idea of how much you'll make until you actually participate in it. But again, you can do your due diligence, walk the show as a shopper, and get some feedback from the vendors there. But just for some reference, with my own brand, I've been able to make $5,000 over the course of 2 days at a market. And I know a fashion brand who's done $10,000. So I would say it's worth it considering how much you can do over the course of 1 or 2 days. Now, I know sometimes fashion brands can be hesitant to participate in these craft fairs because sometimes they feel a little flea market-ish or a little farmer's market-ish, but we want to stay away from those ones so we can continue to keep that brand integrity and showcase your brand in the best light. You want to think about this as a pop-up shop for your brand. And so of course, you can design your booth in a really beautiful way, and you should because you want to draw people into your brand experience. But you also want to make sure that you're going to a show that is branded in a way that is in alignment with what your brand stands for. So I wanted to share with you guys a couple craft fairs that I really love, specifically for fashion brands. I think they do a great job at curating a really beautiful space for the brand, and they create a great shopping environment for the customers. So let's go over some of my top favorite craft fairs. So number one is the Renegade Craft Fair. I love Renegade. It's been around for years. I think 20 years at this point, and they have the most loyal customer base. Their customer base comes out strong every single year to shop from the brands that they've curated. I think that they've just built this trust with their customer. Their customers know when they go to this craft fair that they're going to find some amazing finds that they would have never been able to get anywhere else. And so I love this about Renegade. It's also free for the customers. Some craft fairs charge their customers an entry fee. So it's free. I've been to the Renegade in San Francisco, and it's amazing every time. I've heard the one in Chicago is great also, and Portland. There are a couple around the US. So if you're interested in checking Renegade, I'm going to include the link in the description. But this is a great craft fair, and I feel like they choose their brand so well. It also can be a little hard to get into, but it's a great one to participate in if you are looking to do a craft fair. The next one I want to talk about, number two, is Unique Markets. And Unique Markets is an amazing market curated by Sonia Rasula, and she just does a great job at putting together the best of the best brands. There have been some major success stories that have come out of Unique Market. One of those being PF Candle Co. You might have seen that at Urban Outfitters. Another one being Clever Blends before they got discovered by Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And so, yeah, they actually got discovered by them and then got an investment, and they are doing so good. But that just goes to show you the caliber of brands that are showcasing at this show. This show is great. It's been around for a couple years now, and it draws in a crowd. They do charge their customers for entry, but their customers are also so loyal that they're willing to pay it. A lot of celebrities also come to this market. It's in LA. They've actually also opened on some other locations in the US. I'll have to plug them somewhere here when I'm editing this video, and I'll also include the link in the description so you can apply if you're looking to do it. I also forgot to mention these craft fairs happen multiple times throughout the year. So anytime you're watching this, go check and see if they have any craft fairs coming up to participate in. The next one I want to talk about is West Coast Craft. And West Coast Craft is amazing. It's so well put together, and it has some of the top artists and designers and all of that. This one is extremely hard to get into. I know people who have been trying to get into it for years and still cannot, but don't let that discourage you from applying. That should actually encourage you to apply to understand how exclusive this market is. Again, the vendors are top of the line. And so this is a great look for your brand. If your clothing is more high end, a higher price point, you want to check this out. This one happens in San Francisco, and I believe they started in LA as well. And so, yes, check out West Coast Craft if you are one of those higher price point brands and you really want to be around other elevated brands. West Coast Craft is the pop-up craft fair for you. So the next one I want to talk about is In Todo Craft Fair. And this one was co-founded by one of my friends, Shova Phillips. And I love this craft fair because Shova actually has her own brand, and she started it with other fashion founders who wanted to create an experience that they wanted to be a part of. I think it's just such a great perspective because this creates a great experience for fashion brands to sell here. And so Into the Craft Fair is, again, another one of those craft fairs that's curated with a lot of elevated brands. And they just do a phenomenal job at selecting who they're going to choose to be at their markets. They also do a great job of promoting. Their craft fair has been featured in Vogue. And so this is the creme de la creme of craft fairs, and you'll want to check this one out. So here's a couple tips I have about participating in craft fairs. So it's great if you're trying to participate all throughout the year, but you specifically want to participate during holiday season. Holiday season is a great opportunity because people are specifically going to shop and not walk around to just see the sights. And so holiday craft fairs, you'll always notice that your sales will skyrocket and be a lot larger than what they would look like during a craft fair that is just happening throughout the year. Another tip is you want to create a space for your booth that really embodies your branding and your brand image, because you have to think about this like a pop up shop. And so, if you were to create your own store, what would the feel be like? What would the mood be? And you want to create that for the booth space that you have. I think creating a beautiful booth space makes all the difference. Some people get lazy on this and they'll just bring like their rack of clothes or whatever it may be, but it makes all the difference if things are merchandised really beautifully and really nicely. My next tip is that even though these craft fairs do their own marketing, you also want to invite your existing community into them so that they have a opportunity to see your brand in person and get to experience what your clothing looks like. Because if you think about it, if you are primarily e-commerce, some people are not ready to make the purchase until they see the clothing in person. And so this is a great way to invite your customers in and give them that in-person experience. Also, when participating in these craft fairs, preparation is everything. You want to make sure you are well prepared and that you have prices down and all those things down because it gets really crazy if you try to do this all at the show or if you're missing essential things you need. And that's why I actually created a craft fair pop-up market checklist. And this goes over every single thing you must have if you're doing a craft fair. And I created this list out of experience because I have done many when I had my fashion brand. And there were so many little things that you learn that you need that you would have never thought of before. And so I've curated this list for you. So I will include the link in the description for that as well if you want to get a free download of that if you are deciding that craft fairs are something that you want to participate in. So all in all, craft fairs are an amazing way to really grow your customer base by getting in front of tons of people through that foot traffic and also grow your sales from people who are ready to shop and to discover your brand. I hope this video was helpful to you. My homework for you is to go research some of those craft fairs and find some ones that you can apply for today. I want you to tell me in the comments if you've ever done a craft fair before or if you're thinking about signing up for any of the ones that I mentioned. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.